Okay, this is the introduction to session number 2 of the LDS Church's General Conference for April 2019. I'm sighing because I'm only on video 7, part 7 of the first session. So I'm trying to get caught up as fast as I can and working while I go. And so we got 2 minutes left. We're at the 2-minute warning in 3, 2, 1 now. So yeah, I'm gonna go into this second session with these videos, so I hope I'm not up too late tonight. Trying to get caught up on the priesthood session 3. Alright, so I've got a summary planned, but you aren't going to hear it before this video, so let's see, conference review. So this is the time where they'll do the sustaining vote. This is where they normally announce the number of members and the stats, but they're not going to do that. So I should check once I finish getting this video loaded and check to see if it got put up early, just because they're not going to talk about it. Part 7. Okay. And I had to put them in a file so as not to confuse them with each other and make it easier for me. And then we need the David and Goliath picture. And then camera, O conference. That should come up immediately, but it's not. Okay. All right, there it is. They're now starting. So let's turn it up. And I'll talk as they talk.
From the Conference Center at Temple Square in Salt Lake City.
They really do a nice job on the yard at Temple Square.
The 189th Annual General
And get that out of the way so that I can take notes.
With speakers selected from the general and general officers of the church. The music for this
See, again, they keep emphasizing we are the legitimate branch off from Joseph Smith. And they have to, of course.
As a public service by
Travis Waygood, so.
Any reproduction, recording, transcription, or other use of this program without written consent.
This is public domain. You put it on YouTube, which is public domain.
President Henry B. Eyre, second counselor.
Okay, so I guess Oaks is going to be speaking at this one, and then we'll hear from Nelson in priesthood session, and then Sunday, of course.
Brothers and sisters, we welcome you to the Saturday afternoon session.
Yeah, 7, part 7, Irene lied. You are a liar. Liar. He lied. Outright lied in his talk.
President Russell M. Nelson, who presides at the conference, has asked me to conduct this session. We extend our greetings to all who are in attendance or who are participating by means of television, radio, or the internet.
That means it's public domain.
Who are viewing the proceedings in stake centers.
If you're doing it over the satellites at the stake centers, then yes, you could claim copyright. But sorry, I can obtain a copy, I can have it playing in the background, and you can't do anything. The ones who are probably protesting that the school and the police are violating their rights, victimizing them for sexual assault when they are the victims. Okay. 7 minutes. All right. So I was going to check. We'll have the song going in the background here. 5 minutes, yeah, we should be. It'll be a regular introduction video. Okay, so what was I looking for? Stats. It's still showing. Well, that's the LDS Church. I need Wikipedia. Wikipedia. There we go. And they're still showing 2017, so nobody's made the changes. I guess they're hoping to see if the church is going to announce it or not. So we'll see. If they announce it, it means that they got more membership and they're not ashamed anymore. Yeah, these are still the old 2017 numbers. Let's see. Yeah, even this other link to membership history is still. Yeah, and the church site also said 2017, so. Oh well. Okay. Alright, so. Only so much a guy can take before he blows his head off. Alright. So yes, if you missed the introduction because I forgot to put it in like I did video 2 in the first session. I have born and raised Mormon. I've been through primary. Had primary on Wednesdays and state conferences. We had to drive to state conference because I was in California, and went through CES, Institute at Rick's College, Institute at the University of Lethbridge in Canada, mission to the New York mission under Cofford, teacher of teachers, how to teaching teachers how to teach, and LDS curriculum department, where I was in the top organization, the top committee to oversee the work done on the changes in the footnotes to the 2009 foreign language editions, and did my best to try to get things corrected, but there's too much of ignorance and stubbornness to make the necessary changes, such as not blaming Sodom for what people wrongly call sodomy. Ezekiel makes it plain and clear it's for neglecting the poor. This should be the prayer, right? Yeah, it's the prayer. Okay. So I don't want to listen to that. I'm not going to be saying amen to it. It's not in the spirit, so. Oh, look at who that is. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I've got history, obviously. And the reason why I left is because of finally getting around to studying history. I got final straw was broken, so I said, okay, I need to figure out what's going on here. I've been punished enough by the church. I need to know why. And it's become darker than I ever realized. The evils that went on during Joseph Smith's time to sabotage him and take over his church. It's just a real scary, evil thing that Brigham Young was involved in. And so, yeah, recognize that I know other sources of information outside of church sources. I know Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible and other philosophies of evil that I can recognize when it's spoken by the church prophets.
Present the general authorities,
So,
area 70s, and generally auxiliary
so this is going to be a wasted
of the church
stuff.
for sustaining vote.
It's not a vote.
After which,
They need to stop that. It pisses me off. It is not a vote. It is just a sustaining. That's what section 107 of the Doctrine and Covenants says. I believe verse 24. 22. I'm definitely not sustaining you, President Oaks. He's the worst. You'd almost think that he actually lives by the Satanic Bible of Anton LaVey, with the way he quoted it in the last session. So section 107, Joseph Smith actually put in the 1835, I think. Let me check. Doctrine and Covenants. Wicca. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Because there's a Book of Commandments that was first in 1833, and then the new edition was called the Doctrine and Covenants of 1835. And then when Joseph died, another edition, the 1844 edition, was made, including some more of Joseph's stuff. And yeah, 107 was not included in that one either. So yeah, it would have been in the 1835 edition. 107. They don't say what was in the changes in the 1835. So I'd have to look it up in my scripture program here. But I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, in section 107, Joseph Smith clearly laid it out that if there was no presidency of the church, that you don't put the president of the 12. What you do is you gather together the high priests, or the Melchizedek priesthood, because it's missing some adjectives to clarify which one it's supposed to be. I would assume it's the high priest group, because the high priesthood of the church is in the high priest group. And so that would make more sense because of the consistency with what he was saying. You know, the deacons vote for the president of the deacons quorum as the teachers. The bishop is the president always of the priest quorum. But then elders, and then 70, and then high priests. And so it would be consistent that the high priest would all gather in a conference to vote for the successor, until Nelson had changed that by doing away with the high priest group.
okay, I'm ready to fall asleep.
I am indeed ready to fall asleep. And as a result, man, I'm way behind here. Okay. They're either doing retirements, or he's doing new callings to the 70. But that's pretty much worthless for now. If the church continues to torment people, then in the future time, like him and Nelson with their history, when they first got into the apostles, they have history. And that's why we're here today with Nelson as president, not Oaks. And so okay. Alright, so that's now saving. and this is almost done. But yeah, section 107, since Nelson took away the high priest group, you can't do a conference of the high priests, because then it'd just be the leaders. It's supposed to be the group. And so thus we revert to the error in the text, missing the adjective. And so it has to be now the whole Melchizedek priesthood who gather at a conference and vote for the new high priest. It's not supposed to be the quorum of the 12 president. And Brigham Young did not follow that for very good reason. He may have won, may have. It's a little unclear because he only competed against Sidney Rigdon. Others already left the church with the person they wanted to follow. And so technically, he may have had the higher percentage, but the church was shattered. And and what happened was the church voted rather than the Melchizedek priesthood or the high priest group voted for Brigham Young. And as a result, it wasn't really the church because, like I said, they shattered and split off. And so, yeah, they didn't follow procedure. And Brigham Young took his people with him, and Sidney Rigdon took his people with him. So it's like, why did you even bother to have a vote if everybody was just going to go after the person they wanted anyway? And so yeah, with the church claiming that they're the legitimate successors when they didn't follow proper procedure and protocol in the first place, it's a little misleading to members of the church as well as to the world. Did you just say poo-poo? What is it with these names? There's a Chinese restaurant. I'm assuming Chinese. It could be other Asian language or nationality restaurant, but it's on Atherton Drive. It's a little shopping center there, and on what is it? Is it 45th? Atherton and 45th, or whatever that cross street is. But yeah, you look at it and you try to pronounce it and you go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, and they're able to get away with it because it's a foreign language. Did I? I'm sure I did. If I didn't, oh well. Okay. So I picked up 2 more comments on top of the others that I tried to respond to. And then MD, I'm still trying to get to yours, but I probably will get to it before this video gets up. Man, they cleaned house this time around. Alright. Oh, yeah, I already checked, didn't I? Didn't I? What was I checking? Got so many things going and I'm not writing it down to check it off when I do it. So yeah, this is not a vote. It's a cover for the fraud that they committed way back in 1844. Brigham Young said, yeah, we'll make it a vote, but it's a sustaining because we want my successor to be the one not have this mess of having to choose. So that's why it's this way now. Not as many people here in this session. I'm seeing a lot of empty seats. Still pretty packed though. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so I'm at 20. So this is taking longer than I was hoping to. So we'll stop this. It's already going to be so long.
who may have opposed any of the proposals to contact their state presidents.
So that you can be
Brothers
excommunicated.
and sisters, we thank you for your continued faith and prayers in behalf of
How
the leaders
dare
of
you
the
oppose?
We now invite the new General Authority 70s and the new Sunday School General Presidency.
Okay, so Sunday
to
school
take
was
their
changed.
seats on the rostrum.
Rostrum. So I guess that means McConkey's out. And then they'll get the auditor guy up. Everything was done right.
Announced,
Don't question
Kevin R.
us.
Jurgensen will read the church audit report for 2018.
Listen, watch. That's what he does. He'll go into a history and blah, blah, blah.
To the First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Dear brethren, directed
It's like
by
Barr's
Revelation
4-page
as
report.
recorded in section 120 of the Doctrine and Covenants, the Council on the Disposition of the Tithes, composed of the First Presidency, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and the presiding bishopric, authorizes the expenditure of church funds. Church entities disperse funds in accordance with approved budgets, policies, and procedures.
See?
Church auditing, which consists of credentialed professionals and is independent of all
I don't know
other
why they
church
bother with
departments,
this. If they're not going
has
to give us the
responsibility
numbers,
to perform audits for the purpose of providing reasonable assurance regarding contributions received, expenditures made, and safeguarding of church assets. Based upon audits performed,
safeguarding of church
church
assets.
auditing is of the opinion that in all material respects, contributions received,
There was no collusion.
expenditures made, and assets of the church for the year 2018 have been recorded and administered in accordance with approved church budgets, policies, and accounting practices. The church follows the practices taught to its members of living within a budget, avoiding debt, and saving against the time of need. Respectfully
And
submit,
neglecting the poor.
Church Auditing Department, Kevin R. Jurgensen, Managing Director.
See? That was it. That was a waste. Now,
The choir.
see?
without
Oh, they
favor,
didn't even talk about it.
I stand all amazed.
They didn't even talk about the membership stats. They just skipped right over it like I predicted.
From
Yes.
President M. Russell Ballard, acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles,
Okay, so I'll stop this one and then catch up with Ballard.
by Elder Matthias Hill.